I am from NASSCOM Future Skills. Today we are going to be talking a little bit on an interesting topic called unraveling cloud computing. Now, cloud computing, as we had envisioned a decade back, is no longer a futuristic technology. And today the entire digital infrastructure of the world has suddenly shifted to the cloud. Having said that, it's also important to understand the semantics of cloud computing for people who wish to make a career in cloud. So today we have with us an esteemed panel of experts from the industry who would help us understand the nuts and bolts of cloud computing. Now let me take this opportunity to introduce them. We have Samerjith Meppat from Godrej Infotech. Samerjith is a technology lead at Godrej Infotech. He has more than 18 years of experience in technology management, IT strategy development, and digital transformation. His focus is on overarching technology infrastructure, digital solutions, and large deal pursuits. So over to you, Samerjith.
Yeah, thank you, Saurabh. Thanks, Nikhil, for covering the deep technical part of cloud. So I'll just share my screen. Yeah, I hope you are able to see the screen, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Good afternoon to all. So I'm just covering some topics which traditionally we technical people often don't cover in various forums. So I was just thinking about touching upon those areas in this short 20 minutes discussion, right? So the first slide, which will be an introduction to Godrej, it is not much of a detailed introduction. It's a couple of seconds, yeah. And industry evaluation, right? And main data source for cloud and the transformation of 3.0 to 4.0, right? We will talk about that, what exactly I mean by that. And technology drivers, right? Who are all the market leaders who's driving those technologies here? And how do we accelerate the digital adoption, right? Digital adoption in this sense, in this particular session's context, it is predominantly into cloud adoption. Okay, so these are all various perspectives which we have built over the period of time where we are discussed about to various our customers and stakeholders. Yeah, so the first slide, which I just wanted to talk about the Godrej and its journey, right? So we have started our operation at 1971. And then as an independent company, we started our operation at 1999. And we have presence across all technology landscapes, including the application managed services areas and all IT service provider activities which we do. So the traditional IT services companies activities, and we do have a strategic partnership with Infor, Microsoft, LS Retail, and Oracle. So, and these are the core areas which we work upon, and we do have a global presence: India, Middle East, and Europe, and Asia Pacific, and USA. These are all the areas which we currently operate, right? So, apart from that, which I wanted to bring all your attention is that Godrej is a company, right? So, which is 100+ years of company where we are into everywhere, where in a normal Indian lives, which is in a day-to-day lives, we touched upon every areas which we are in. We are into soap, we call it soap manufacturing to software building, right? We are into defense, and we are into data. We are into constructions, and we are now into cloud, right? So that is how we position ourselves over the period of more than a century, right, of experience we carry. Yeah. So now when it comes to the cloud part, right? So from where I wanted to invite all your attention into that, where this cloud is going to come in next 4 to 5 years, right? When we look at it in 2025, where the cloud will be, and then you look back that in 2021, where are we, and how do we wanted to go towards those directions to achieve what we wanted to achieve, and what it should be, even if we as an IT partners, if we don't contribute to it, then also it is going to happen. Okay, so that is how I would like to portray it. the cloud journey, because the footprint which is going to make in cloud is immensely powerful. So therefore, we will not be able to know, there is no choice there whether to go on cloud or not to go on cloud, whether you like it or not like it, because it is going to happen. So I just which are the main drivers? That is what one of the point which I wanted to invite you all for the better understanding. Right? So I always used to believe that unless we know something about everything, we know nothing about anything. Where are going through and where are we on with regards to various industry evaluations, right? The industry 1.0, which is which we talked about, which is steam powered machines and weaving looms, which we had it in 1780s, right? That is where we started the first industry revolution, right? And then after that, we have after 100 years, we have in 1870 around the electrification of industry across globe, all right? And the assembly lines has been introduced, mass production has been started, right? This is what we call it as industry 2.0. And then industry 3.0 came in, that it is in 1960s, where we have automated many of the things, right? Using electronics, and the first generation computers were introduced in industry 3.0, right? So that is where the shift coming in. Now in today, we look at it, we are talking about broadly about industry 4.0. Now I'm talking about all industries, right? Or how are we going to connect this industry evaluations or revolutions or transformation into cloud journey is what I'm going to point my fingers to. When we talk about industry 4.0, it talks about many things. I am not going to various elements of industry 4.0, but what is in today's afternoon's interest is how this is going to contribute to the cloud infrastructure by and large. That is where I'm going to talk about this, right? So industry 4.0, one of the main element is talking about connected machines, right? So how do we connect machines, and how do the traditional ways of working can be get rid of, and connected machines can be changing the whole industry landscape, and thereby every person who's living on the planet will be changed thereafter, when the industry 4.0 will be completely taken over or transformed, right? So, in that, IoT plays a large role with regards to the connected machines, because if two machines need to talk to each other, they don't use any languages, they use certain technologies which we developed currently as of today, which we have to leverage on IoT, right? There are many different transformation of IoT also happen in another 1 or 2 decades time, and the networking of machines is another area. These are the three areas which is going to completely taken over by the clouds, right? So with regards to Godrej, right? So Godrej, we have as a company which has been established on 1897, right? Why I'm bringing this point here is that we have seen this transformation, right? In the second industry evaluation onwards, we are going through this, and the experience which we carry as an industry body is humongous. And I would say that despite having various experience in other big IT companies, I would say that Godrej is uniquely placed with regards to this particular journey, right? So that is what I wanted to bring to you. Now we will talk about how this industry 4.0 is going to contribute to the cloud journey. Yeah. So yeah, so here, so now this is how the connected machines, right? The IoT journey will start, right? Almost all in by 2025, it says that most of the majority of the devices are connected to each other with an IoT platform, right? And this IoT platform is in turn connected to some or the other cloud providers. So because we have seen that many leading technology companies are in the run to have their IoT cloud presence, and they are in a very advanced stage, but it is going to be going to undergo a tremendous transformation again, because it's going to change the whole narrative and the whole area of IoT space. Right, so everything is connected with one or the other IoT platform. Yeah. So now let us look at a little bit statistics, right? Where we were in the IoT space. Okay, so in 2015, it says that approximately 15 billion IoT devices were connected, right? So in 2008 was the time where the number of IoT devices surpassed the number of population on the planet, right? So after that, it significantly increased the number of IoT devices every passing year. And in 2020, it was somewhere around 30 to 35 billion IoT devices. And it is estimated in 2025, it is 77. This is a conservative number, which I picked it up from various researchers, but an enthusiast research model, which says that even it will touch 90 billion IoT devices by 2025. Right? So that is the level of growth, right? So this is where the importance of Industry 4.0 will also play a vital role, right? So how do this 77 or 90 billion IoT devices will be connecting, right? So it is all, the majority of those devices will be directly related to the manufacturing industry, and it is directly related to Industry 4.0 adoption. So that is the reason I started the discussion with that particular evaluation. Okay, and now when we look at it, 77 billion devices, it says that almost 70% of these devices will be connected to IoT platform, right? So, and when it says 70% of 77 dominantly into your cloud platforms, and the estimated data volume would be 80 zettabyte, right? The total today, as on today, the research estimate says that the total data, available data on the planet is computer data is somewhere around 40 to 45 zettabyte. Whereas we are saying that in 2025, the cloud data alone for IoT contribution, it will be 80 plus zettabyte. Right, so you can imagine that how that 200% growth in the data only contributing to the IoT devices, which will be on the cloud. And it is estimated in 2025 that the total volume of data will be somewhere around 160 to 170 zettabytes. Okay, so that is the volume of data, and in that it is almost going to be 50% of the cloud space is going to be occupied by the IoT devices, basically triggered, predominantly it is triggered from by the Industry 4.0 evaluation. Yeah, so that is the volume of growth which we are anticipating, and this is the sense we are getting from various industry leaders when we talk to them, and their perspective, when they share their perspective, and when they share that how do they want to be participating in that, and so on and so forth, right? So now I will talk about the two important transformation, right? Industry 3.0 to 4.0, which I'm slightly from the previous slide, which I'm slightly bringing into an off track, because this element also I want you all to understand that how does it work, and why this particular element is very important for us to understand, so that we can facilitate the cloud adoption in a much faster way and much seamless way. Okay, because this one area, right, in the Industry 3.0 era has created two different silos when it comes to the IT and OT, right? The OT, we generally in IT terminology, we never talk about OT as such, right? Especially when it comes to the manufacturing side, we always used to stay away from the IT guys. We always used to stay away from OT. Operation technology is something which we don't want to talk about it, because it is something which is a different area, ball game altogether, right? So there are companies, separate companies operating to cater services to operating technologies, right? Operations technologies. So therefore, in my own experience, where I spoke to a couple of industry leaders in my previous era, so they clearly said that no, let us not get into that, because it is not our area, right? That is the mindset of the IT leadership traditionally was. So now these are the two silos which we have, which always operated. Now the industry 4.0 is going to demolish this whole silos, and it will be somewhere, it will be like, in this way, right? This is the big transformation which is going to happen. If we don't encourage this transformation, or if IT doesn't lead this discussion for this transformation, then we are going to slow down the cloud adoption. So that is how it will be, right? So there will be a convergence between IT and OT. I'm not saying it's a complete merger between IT and OT, but there will be a kind of a convergence between them. Because why those convergences? Because in the previous slide you might be remembering that now 77% of the IoT devices which are from the industry, which are traditionally managed by the OT, the operations technology, will be using IoT and cloud. And who's going to manage the IoT and cloud? It is IT, right? So therefore, we cannot say that we will not be entering into OT business. So it is bound to happen that even whether you like it or not, it is bound to happen that IT and OT will be working seamlessly together. They will be sitting next to each other, and then we will be working on. That is where the success of Industry 4.0 will be. So this transformation, the IT leaders and the various technology enthusiasts, evangelists, and the people should be considering this particular element also when we are discussing about the cloud migration and the cloud adoption to the various large industry segments, right? Because if we do not still in the traditional way, how do we used to handle OT outside of IT? If we continue the same mindset and mentality, we are not going to improve the cloud adoption anyway soon. So instead of enablers, we will be IT will be a roadblockers for the cloud adoption itself. So that is how I look at things. That is how we have the perspective, from various industry leaders. Therefore, it is very important that along with this Industry 4.0 adoption, you be ready for IT and OT merger or a convergence here, and then start leading the discussion in that front. When you start leading those discussions, then people are there to listen to you. Otherwise, if you still continue within different silos which you are going to talk about it, then nobody is going to entertain or encourage us to participate in those discussions, right? Which we don't want to. And I'm sure that in the next generation of leadership will definitely look into this merger very closely. Yeah. So now that is about it. Now look at this, right? So what I was talking about earlier, right? Where why this IoT is going to be a big game changer, and how IoT data is going to consume 50% of the cloud space by 2025. So where it is heading to, right? So look at the top 10 logos which is there visible in your screen, right? So these are all the big players. Why are they investing too much into IoT cloud services, right? Because of the same reason, right? Because everybody want to have a cloud platform, and everybody want to be having the data on cloud because of the various reasons which Nikhil has presented earlier, right? It's scalability and other positive things, right? Many of the people doesn't know that what will be the volume of data generated by their particular industry when it comes to Industry 4.0. Therefore, they need a scalable and platform. Therefore, they need a large a system which can handle in a humongous volume, unpredictable volume of data should be handled, right? So for that, there are various cloud models available. So that is the reason these companies are, investing their time, effort, and energy into building IoT platforms on the cloud. Okay, so you see everything here. So yeah, so that is how the technology element which is going to drive us. Now the next slide I will talk about, this is the last slide, okay, which I'm talking about how do we improve the adoption of cloud. Now again, I'm bringing lights to our own IT, how IT used to traditionally manage the business requirements, right? So now with regards to the specific topics, the context which I am building on, I am talking about, is that about the industry and the manufacturing industry, and how manufacturing industry is going to occupy 50% of its cloud space by 2025. In that context, we means the IT community, right? So the IT community cannot say that we don't understand business, we only understand IT and technology. That statement is not going to be a welcoming statement anymore when it comes to the when the industry 4.0 is going to be in a full swing, which is there anyways. So we have to reskill ourselves to understand the business, okay, and how they operate it. And in the traditional way of talking to IT and CIOs and CTOs is not going to help them. Okay, we need to have our own connect to expand our own connect to various business leaders, the plant heads, the CEOs, and that level of across board we have to be available. So how do we do that? So if you don't talk business, or if you don't understand their business, then nobody is going to entertain us to talk to them, right? So therefore, it is very important for us. Therefore, it's very important for the senior consultants and the senior leadership of IT departments or IT organizations to understand their business in deep, and what are the day-to-day pain areas which they are undergoing. And then you talk into that business language, and that is where we will be build the confidence. Now, what I understand in my own journey is that the business leaders, right, the manufacturing company leaders, they don't have a confidence issue with regards to the technology is concerned. Where the problem is that their confidence comes into that, is this the right people to talk? Am I talking about, or are they talking in my language, or are they still continuing in their own technology language? These are all the things which differentiate whether to select the partner A or partner B, right? So better we all start talking in developing the language which business understands, which is there from decades onwards in people, the IT leaders were telling us to do that, but nobody used to do that so seriously. But when it comes to the latest, when you look at the latest trend, it is a mandatory thing for IT to start talking into business language, right? So that is the number one thing. The moment you do the number one thing, talking and understanding the business, the rest of the three will follow by automatically by itself. Then you need not to take a different step altogether, right? The focus on solution, not on product, right? When you know business, you will never push your agenda to sell one product to a customer, because you know what is the business. You are part of the business the moment you know business. Therefore you will build a scalable, highly flexible solution which is required for their business to grow, right? So that will automatically happen. You need not to focus specific to that, right? So when even if you now you look around yourself, right, where you have somebody who understand business in your own IT department, they talk totally differently than the rest of the IT guys talk, right? So that is because that happens, that transformation automatically happens. So you need not to do much of a brainstorming there to transform yourself. The third point is that business is the customer, right? The business is the customer means I touched upon the area, right? The CEOs and other plant heads and the plant managers and all these people, right? Those people will decide that which what to do and what they want to monitor with regards to the manufacturing segment is concerned, right? You have to develop deep connect amongst them, because then only you will know what are their pain areas and pain points, right? So that you can build your strategy around it, and then you can have a win-win in those sides. So the last point is be technology agnostic, because you cannot afford to have married to one technology and sell those technology lifelong. That is not going to happen anymore. Okay, so that happened in various areas earlier, but when you look into this context of Industry 4.0, this is not going to sell anymore. So you have to be technology agnostic. You have to be quick and agile to adopt latest technologies, and you may have to have various technology elements stitched together to build one solutions, integrated together to build one solutions. You may have to integrate various cloud platforms together to achieve their end objective, to solve their business problems, right? So you have to be technology agnostic. Your customer connect should be deep, and you need to focus on solutions, not on products, and you have to enhance your business knowledge. These are the 4 things which we as an IT community must do to talk to the business, basically, right? So with that, I am on the end. Okay, so that's it from my side. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Samerjith, for the wonderful session.